We're on. We are streaming live. And ready. We're gonna hit the record button in 3, 2, 1. I was this no. Every time I do this, this little menu pops up. Okay. Welcome to Recovering Thought Addict. I am Alex, and I am here with my good friend, twin flame, whatever the fuck, Chase Butticé. Chase was my teacher. She taught me astrology and tarot and all about altar work, and is really a huge part of my spiritual awakening path that I've been on since maybe the late part of 2019. So I owe a whole bunch to Chase, and she called me on this lately where I've been sharing a lot of the stuff that she's gotten me into and that we talk about together, and then I don't give her any credit.
Like I was Eric just Butterworth. Like, what the fuck, man? Like, it's cool. You just gotta have me on, just talk about it a little bit. It's cool. We're cool. Yeah,
we're cool.
You're obviously brilliant. You're obviously brilliant. I'm not like, teaching you how to be you. You are you.
That's true. But you helped give me permission for me to be me. You know what I mean? And I am eternally grateful for that. And there's so many amazing teachers that you've exposed me to. We both exposed each other to different things, but lately you just been on this amazing kick. You found this dude Eric Butterworth through these amazing circumstances. What is David says it's 9:06. What the fuck? This is bullshit. I don't know what that means, David. You have to clarify. But dude, Eric Butterworth, he's really, really awesome. And I name dropped him on my last podcast, and he's your dude. Like, he came to you through this amazing universal synchronicity, through this gift.
And I had a dream. It was actually when you were living here. I had a dream that I woke up with the term creative flow in my head. And I just was like, creative flow, like obviously creative flow. But then maybe a month or two later, I was at a thrift store and I came upon this book called Spiritual Economics, and you open it up and it's like, you've come to this book upon divine appointment. And then the whole thing is about the creative flow and basically how all prosperity is energy and how to just get yourself in the flow. And it was like a next level of that kind of work. It's so feminine. It's so about receptivity instead of manifesting and I'm going to create this shit because I'm a badass. Yeah, I'm a badass manifester. It's like, no, universe is here. All we have to do is just open up and see that and acknowledge it. And we can and become one with it. And that book though is so freaking amazing. And so then I got all of his other books and I just study him. I study him every morning. He's my dude. I talk to him all the time.
Here's Spiritual Economics right here. But you got all his other books, literally all of them?
Well, no, he has a lot, but I got 5. I got
nice.
5. Yeah.
That sounds like almost all. David said, yeah, sorry, David. We started 5 minutes late, but if you're talking about it being 9 o'clock instead of 7 o'clock, that's because I'm on the West Coast time zone. So maybe I should clarify on that in the future. West Coast, 7 p.m. Yeah. Sorry if that confused you or whatever, dude. But we're here now. You're here now, and we love you. So let's do our traditional space weather check-in. Jace is the one who taught me tarot and turned me on to this specific deck and my tarot handbook and everything. So she's gonna help me here with this stuff.
You do a fucking great job. I love everything.
Thank you.
I help enhance.
I appreciate it.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're the enhancement. You're the spice.
Yeah, I'm a spicy Italian, huh?
That's right. I am German. Very analytical.
You're German.
Cold, serious, hard.
Very cold.
That's not me. No, every time I draw these cards, I'm like, I don't know what this means, and then I just kind of look at it, the parts for forever, and eventually something always comes out. So I guess that's kind of how it really works, right?
Yeah. I think every time you do it, it was really good. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you. Well, and every time I draw a card, I see something new in it. I see something new in it. So what gifts do you have for us today? Tarot deck.
Tarot.
What is going on in space weather? Okay, I think it's ready. I think the deck is baked. That's the one. That's the one. Ah, worry.
Oh,
the worry card.
5 of
Yes.
That's a 5 of discs.
The 5 of discs. The 5 of discs. Well, that makes sense. There's always a little anxiety going into any of these things. What is worrying right now? So let's look at this guy. What are the astrological symbols? We have, is that Taurus upside down on this one?
Isn't it Saturn and Taurus? It's Saturn and Taurus, right?
It's, oh, I'm holding it upside down. That's why it's upside down. That was dumb. No, it's Mercury in Taurus. That's interesting. Which that makes sense with Mercury. Mercury's all about thinking. So this is perhaps a card of overthinking, right? Worry is overthinking. Yep. So we got Mercury at the top here. We got Taurus at the bottom. Then there's this sort of pentacle made by these 5 discs, and each one has a different symbol on them. Are you hearing that little skipping sound? Is that happening on your end? Is that just me?
Hear it.
Okay.
I don't hear it.
Huh. Okay. Just checking. Don't worry about it. There's always technical difficulties. Welcome to podcasting.
Yeah. I love it. You're hustling. Hustling, dude.
Hustling. Okay. So we got one of the discs has a triangle on it. One of them has a yellow square. The triangle's purple. One has a blue circle.
I'm gonna grab my deck and look at mine so I can do it.
Oh yeah, do that. There is a black oval on the bottom disc, and then there is a crescent, the Crescent Moon, on the 5th disc. I don't know. That seems to be all sacred geometry stuff. You're the sacred geometry expert, or not? Maybe not expert. I don't know, but you just love it the most.
I do love it. I love it.
What does that mean to you? Where there's the triangle, the square, and the circle?
Hold on, I'm looking for my card. I mean,
there's a lot of blue color on this card. So blue, worry makes you blue, right? Worry can bring you down. So I mean, it's like a deep sort of melancholic blue, like a deep navy melancholic blue. There's a lot of hard edges.
Oh, the triangle. I see what you're saying.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah. So so it's like there's a triangle, a square, and a circle, right?
Yeah, and then there's that black oval at the bottom, and then the moon, which we all know about the moon. The crescent moon is turned upward in sort of that cup thing.
If you kind of just look at the image of the card, I mean, that's why these cards are brilliant, because the art is so incredible. Because they're from the 20s, so they're Art Deco, and then it's like Aleister Crowley mixed with this woman's art, which is just insane. But like it feels to me like it's like a constriction, right? It's like like there's flames on the outside, and then
are those flames? Is that what that is?
That's what it looks like to me. Looks like
they're like crystal. They're kind of crystally flames.
And when you first started talking, because I was like, oh, it's like constriction of the flow, which stops the energy from the creative energy from actually like proliferating, growing, prospering, right? Like that fear energy, the worry, which constricts it, and then you're like dealing with a very small like energy of what it actually could be. Right.
Like, and all these like little yellow flames or little energy flows, they're pretty constricted, right? They're pretty narrow flows. Yeah. And they all like that crystal sort of thing. Whenever I see crystalline looking stuff, I always think like crystallized thought structures. You might not be letting go in some way, or there may be some patterns of thinking that are not conducive to the energy flow,
Yeah, like a recovering thought addict, right?
Yep. On point. On theme. Perfect.
But the whole thing, the reason why we love that book, because there's the book that goes with this. It's the deck and the book, they go together, right? So the book, the reason why the book is so good is because it really always flips it. It's like when you get this card, it's pointing to old patterns, and then it's like making the conscious decision to not interact in with your reality and in a sense of worry anymore. That's constricting energy and choosing alternately to open the flow, right? In whatever way.
Right. Well, and you know what I also think about? I mean, constriction is part of life, this sort of contract and release sort of thing. And the cards really are all this sort of archetypal journey of the human soul, right? So these negative points are those ebb points, those constriction points. You hit these worry points, and then you find the release, and the flow is ever more stronger out of that. You know, anytime we have this constriction, it's actually preparing you for action, right? That's what a constriction is. So this worry moment is perhaps in some way a misuse of this energy coming in.
I knew you were going to pull a card like that.
Next moment.
I could feel it when you were mixing it. I was like, it's not going to be a good card. I knew it.
It is. They're all good cards. Shut up.
No, I knew it. I knew it though. Because you were like, okay, here we go. And then it was like, yeah, okay. I bet if you did another one, you would get one. I mean, they're all good.
Yeah.
They are all good.
We could do a 3-card draw. That might be fun to do.
If you want.
We got a lot of comments coming in down here that I'm gonna check in with in a second. But let's just check in with Angeles Ariane. Is that how you say her name? I
think she's Latina. She's Latina, right?
So is it Angeles?
Ariane? Doesn't it sound like Spanish?
I mean,
does. She's so dope. I have the book right here. Let's show everybody her picture because she's so freaking dope. She's like, I mean, there's so few women. This is from the 80s, this book. Or no, it came out in the 90s, but it was like, there's so few women that are like, I don't know. This has everything. It's like rational, witchy, intuitive, so in depth, so deep. It's the most amazing book ever, the Tarot Handbook.
Even that symbol on the front there is dope.
Yeah, man. And then this is what her picture looks like. It just looks awesome. Cool. She just looks awesome.
Yeah, she does.
Yeah.
So shall we? I read the worry, the 5 of discs little passage here.
Yeah.
Physical concern, anxiety, rumination. This is worry about finances, health, or external situations or relationships. The state of being consciousness that always takes one back to the past or into the future, but never has one handling the present, right? That's what worry always is, right? It's not being present in the moment, because those you worry about in the moment, right? It's literally impossible to worry in the moment. It's by rote, like a time travel device.
Unless there's like a ball dropping on you at that moment.
Even then, though, you're just in like an adrenaline, like you're not worrying, right? You're just acting, right? Like you can't.
Oh, that's a good point. That's a good point.
Right? Even if something stressful is happening, like you're running from a tiger or something, you're not worrying. You're just acting. There's no time. There's no time to worry.
No, so wait. So you're saying like extreme fear is not worry? Like my balls are about to get chopped off is not worry?
Well, your balls, think about what you just said there. Your balls are about to be chopped off. That's a future event. Even if it's just like a couple seconds in the future, that's still the future, right? That's still future. It's not present. So that's a very maybe subtle distinction, but it's true.
I was thinking about the eunuchs. I studied Chinese history. I was thinking about the dudes that had to line up to get their balls chopped off to go to work in the what was it called? What's the grand temple? No, the city.
Oh, the Forbidden City.
The Forbidden City. Yeah, you had to get your balls chopped off. But it was like a grand event that was like you were like so holy, but you like there was a tent. And then you had to carry them around with you. Anyway, I don't know why I'm talking about this.
I don't know either. I hate it. What's with the castration obsession that's coming through right now? This is why I pulled the worry card. You're
like bringing it all up. I'm just going into it.
Shift it by keep reading about this. Yeah, here we go. I'm gonna finish this. Damn it.
Okay.
Worry about communication patterns and how one is coming across while communicating. This is like the Five of Swords is the upside down star. Yeah.
Oh, the upside down star. Sorry.
It's an upside down pentacle. No, that's good. That's good. Comment. One's self-confidence and self-esteem has suffered a blow, and the worry and doubts are only keeping one in a state of anxiety. When a person is drawn towards this card, it is an indication that the individual is worrying a lot about money or health or some other external situation in his or her life. There are doubts about one's own ability to handle the situation, particularly one's communication skills and how one comes across to others. That's what we're doing right now. The individual might take a look at his or her life 5 years before to say, that the time stuff I don't really get, but there is a determination to release this negative worry pattern, and the Hierophant can be drawn upon in the next 5 weeks to 5 months to health. Yeah, man. Sagittarius.
That's my shit. I have a Hierophant up on my wall.
Oh, really? Is that what that is? Oh,
it's a crow. My sister got it for me. It's a crow on top of a key, and it's the Hierophant.
Oh, that's badass.
I fucking love the Hierophant. The Hierophant is like power.
What does the Hierophant mean to you?
It's just spiritual. It's a spiritual teacher that's like, in command and like, I don't know. It's the counselor, the consultant, spiritual teacher. I get it when I'm in a place where I'm like, what am I going to do in my life? Or, whatever. And then I'll always pull the Hierophant. It's like, oh yeah, that's what I'm supposed to be doing. Oh yeah.
Yeah. It's good. It's Sagittarius, right?
Is it?
I think it's Sagittarius. I think that's what the Hierophant is. And it's in the old tarot deck in the Rider-Waite, it's the Pope, which is Sagittarian energy.
I'm looking it up.
Cool. While you do that, I'm going to go to the comments here and see what folks are saying.
Sir.
Oh, okay. So we were here right on the dot waiting for you, big dog, says Will. David says, I'm just fucking around. It was a minute late. Can't wait for the episode though. Okay, he was just talking about that.
Aww.
Yeah. Sweethearts. David's just teasing you. I got fans.
You got fans.
It's wonderful. They're so awesome, man. I love these guys. It's Will's birthday tomorrow. Will is Ketsuban of the Wrong Warp, who's a big reason I'm doing all this.
Yeah, right, that's cool. What's up, Will? What's up? Helping
Courtney
Alex
says,
actualize. This is exactly what he's supposed to be doing. So I'm really stoked to be here right now.
Chase has been pushing me to do this for a long time. I made a half-assed podcast a long time ago because I was scared to do it, and I was just like, fuck, I'll just like say some words. And now I'm doing it for real.
You're just a great performer. You're supposed to be doing this, dude.
Oh, thanks. You too. We all are. Leo rising, dog.
Yeah, I was thinking about that today. I was like, we got some Leo rising about to perform here, so this is some good shit.
That's right.
But Alex is a double Leo. He's a Leo sun and rising. Just so you know,
Mercury.
everybody.
And Mercury.
Oh, and Mercury.
All of it. All the kitty cat.
He loves compliments. He loves compliments. Like, yeah.
Praise me.
Praise me.
And I love the wine, and I love the cookies.
Yeah, you're a giant. Yeah, he loves pleasure. Anything where he gets to like lounge around and eat and like just enjoy himself, literally like lick himself. But it's like that. It's like that.
It is exactly like that. I'm a professional lounger.
You really are. You really are.
Courtney says, are you guys from the same area? Yes and no. I mean, so I lived in Seattle for a while. I'm in Eastern Washington now, and Chase was in Seattle, which is how I was looking for a spiritual teacher, and I found her because she was in Seattle. But when I contacted her, she had just moved out of Seattle down to Los Angeles, California.
Days. It was days that I left.
It was days. Yeah, it was a very synchronistic moment. And then, so I worked with you, and then I moved into your old place, the place that you moved out of. I moved into because I was moving out of where I was at, and that place was fucking awesome. This cottage by the water, this magical witchy cottage that had all your witch energy over it, and the purple carpet you had put in there and stuff. Yeah. So that
Yeah.
was awesome.
Yeah, so he moved
Um,
into the cottage that I had like magically found that was like took 65 steps to get up, and it was like in the middle of the woods, and it had a balcony overlooking the water, and it was over 100 years old, and the landlord was like 98 years old. And
mhm.
yeah, so we worked together, then you moved in there, and then things
Mhm.
grew. And then things
Yeah.
grew.
Yep. that's that's a long story. And then I moved down. I was in Palm Springs
Mm-hmm.
with her for a few months, and then now I'm back here because we are going through our death year,
Yeah.
motherfucker, and it's a year of growth and transformation. And
You're in
yeah,
the middle of
we're
your fucking
so
Saturn return.
I got my Saturn return going on, right? Oh my god. There goes my ring light. Okay. Okay. This is a very professional studio here. It's held together with duct tape and chewing gum, which are the tools of professionals. Those are the choice tools.
But your mic is dope, dude. Your mic is sick.
The most important part. Audio file.
You got it. You
I
got
got it.
it. Yeah.
I got it. So that's all part of that twin flame stuff. You were asking me what a twin flame was. That's something that Jessa Reed talks about a lot, who is one of my favorite people. One of the people I got to share with you.
Mm-hmm.
Um, see, it's not a one-way street. I share too. I
Oh,
share
you
too.
do. You can choose, but yes, you do. Absolutely.
um,
Jess is cool as shit.
Jessa is
So
really fucking
so
cool.
original. So original.
Yeah, I turned a lot of people in the group onto her because she's just part of the whole
She's
soul tribe energy.
she's like a prodigy psycho.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. Exactly.
It takes a
Methanol.
special kind of person to be like, all right. I dig what she's saying. I dig.
Yeah, man. It was perfect for me. I'm exactly that kind of person. I
Yep.
only like psychos.
It's true. Because you love Tim Dillon too, and he's fucking nuts.
Oh, I love Tim Dillon so much. He is
He
so
just popped
fucking
up.
nuts.
He just popped up. I was like, I mean, I don't even know how to find podcasts. I don't know how you guys all find podcasts because it takes me an hour to try to find something that I like. But like, he always pops up, and I'm like, God damn it! He's like, because of you, he always pops up.
Yep, he's in your energy field now. You can't get rid of him. You can't get rid of him. I don't know. I love that dude, man. He always brings a smile to my face every time when he's talking about the collapse of the world. I don't know. I have a
I know.
secretly dark and twisted sense of humor. Um so let's see. Will says, "Do you think that tarot and astrology are more useful when you use them both?" I think so. What do you think?
That's a loaded question. I mean,
I guess that is.
I'd have to ask him some questions about that. Like, would you want to mix the readings, or would you like want to be familiar with astrology and also familiar with tarot and be using them like simultaneously as separate things to help you, or would you want to be doing them at the same time? That's what simultaneous means, but you know what I mean? Because I think that's a lot to try to integrate, because astrology in and of itself is so multi-dimensional and complex that to try to mix a tarot up in there too. But you could, I mean, I'm sure people do. I'm sure they flip in some cards in there, but then you really gotta, that's a lot. What do you think?
I kind of do a little bit. I like using them together. I mean, so first off, like this tarot uses all the astrological symbols. So I find it like at the very least, like both using them both in your life, maybe not at the same time, but using them both in your life is definitely enriching, because
absolutely
you just gain more understanding of the astrological symbols from using the tarot, and you gain more understanding of the tarot from studying astrology.
Yeah.
You know, they both are sort of describing the same thing. It's just one splits life into 72 cards, the other splits life into a 360-degree circle. You know, in a way.
I mean, I started doing tarot when I was 12. My sister bought me a tarot deck when I was 12. And
really, I did not know that.
Yeah, and I've always had a tarot deck my whole life.
Do you still have that deck you had when you were 12?
No, it was like a cheesy one from Barnes and Noble or something, you know.
Well, apparently you're supposed to be given your first tarot deck as a gift traditionally,
My
which I
sister knew
was
I was
not.
witchy as fuck back then, you know, and she was
Mm.
all goth. So I was like, hell yeah. But I remember having a slumber party and I remember having these two girls over and I was like, let's play with the tarot cards. And one of the girls pulled the devil card and she was like Christian and she started freaking out and having like an
Oh
anxiety
god.
attack. And
Oh
she started like,
god.
no, like freaking out. And I was like, you're gonna be okay. It's okay.
It's not what you think it is. Oh my god,
Yeah,
that's
and even to
hilarious.
this day, Christian people are like the tarot. No, you know.
I know. I know. I told
I
my
mean, I'm not ragging on
grandpa.
Christians. I'm not ragging on Christians, but certain Christians, Orthodox
Uh,
Christians, are very anti
yeah,
tarot.
or my grandpa who's Seventh-day Adventist. I told him that I'm doing tarot and astrology readings, and that clearly made him so uncomfortable. I said like I love you, grandpa, and he couldn't even. He like choked. He was like, goodbye. Oh.
Shit. Just
Yeah,
keep
people are
shocking,
funny, man.
just keep
Yeah, no, I
shocking
love
and
it.
shocking
It's my
off,
favorite
shocking
thing.
off.
It's my favorite thing to do, shocking off. Or did you say shock and awe or shocking off? I heard shocking off. It's like, oh, okay.
That's a good one. Shocking off.
I like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude. Shock off, bitch.
Shock off.
Um
Shock the
some
fuck
more
off.
comments here. Wow, people love us tonight. This is wonderful.
That's because we got the
Everyone
good mojo.
the gang's all here. Okay, I better give them some attention. Um let's
Drinking
see.
wine
David
because
says
Alex said get a glass of wine. So I said okay.
get loose. I didn't demand you get a glass of wine,
Demanded me
but
to, and I said, okay, yes, Alex, yes,
must
fine,
must
fine, I will.
if I must.
If I must.
David says, do you think astrology could be another matrix trap to get out stuck? What do you mean by to get out? Oh, to get us stuck? Maybe he meant to get us stuck. I don't think so. I mean, it can get you stuck for sure, but anything can get you stuck. I find astrology to be a tool for freeing yourself.
But there
You
are
know,
people, like I have known a lot of people that use it so rigidly, like a fucking
yeah,
religion,
yeah.
and there's no in between, and then you are what you are, and I freaking dogmatic, and it becomes absolutely like the fucking Matrix because it's just another
Yep.
thing to deeply believe in and to wave your fucking flag
Mm-hmm.
at, and everything you got to take with a grain of salt, you know, take it with a grain of salt.
Absolutely.
Use it
Absolutely.
loosely. It's not the end all be all. It's not the replacement for a religion.
No.
Use your own brain, use your own intuition, all that. Because sometimes I'll look at people. Sorry, this makes me angry when people are really
That's good.
dogmatic about shit
This is
like this.
good. Yeah.
But like, yeah, because sometimes I'll think I know, like most of the time I can be like, you're this sign and you're that thing, and then because I know astrology so well. But then sometimes I'll think I know something about somebody, and I'll look at their chart and I'm like, huh, I was sure that you had like a ton of Scorpio, and like it's like you don't fucking know. People are not their charts. People are not, you know. Sorry,
Right.
that's just I just had to say that.
No, don't be. That was perfect. That was great.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely, man. People are not their charts. It's just a tool. It's not a control mechanism. You know.
Yes. Yes.
And it's just like anything else. Anytime you get dogmatic and rigid about it, you're likely to get fucked up.
Exactly.
And then it does become a matrix trap, David. That's the way it works. So Lisa says, so amazing to see you and Alex and Chase. Wow, infinite hearts. Yes. Love you,
Aww.
Lisa. Lisa's gonna be on the show soon. She's our Maori shaman medium friend.
Oh, it's Lisa. Yay!
She's fucking awesome. Yeah, that's Lisa Jane Myers.
Yes. The most incredible medium I've ever met in my life. And like, I'm really fucking hard to please. Who is like authentically Maori from New Zealand, one of the most ancient and amazing cultures in the world. Yeah, that Lisa.
She's authentic as fuck.
So
dude.
authentic, man. And it's so hard to find authenticity in this world. She's so authentic.
It is. It is. David says it just confirms the simulation. Will says, what up? Tell me embarrassing stuff about Alex. Already started. Already. Oh man.
This is Alex's podcast. You know, I'm not gonna do that. No, I'm just kidding. No.
You can do whatever you want. There's no controlling you.
No, that's true. I'm not gonna say
I know. I'm just kidding.
I can talk about how you hate farts.
That's that's the one thing we can't talk about. Like, you asked me beforehand if there's anything I didn't want to go. I don't want to go there. We're not going there. I do not.
Which is so ridiculous because I'm Italian and like that's all Italians talk about. So this is just been a ridiculous situation from the beginning. But yeah.
This is why you're my twin flame. It's like a karmic connection to destroy me. Destroy my ego.
I had an Italian dad that was like, it was just shits and farts all the time. Any Italian knows this. Silence from Alex. Silence. Just notice the silence.
It's terrible. I can't even process that.
Oh my god.
Whatever. Courtney Boyd says that twin flame energy. Moving on. No more. We're done. That twin flame energy, yes. Tim Dillon, Will Graham was a Tim Dillon head right before he found Red Bar. Yep, Red Bar is cool too. Courtney says it's like speaking two different languages, lol. I'm not sure what she's referring to. Maybe tarot, astrology.
What's the definition of a twin flame? Nobody's told me yet today.
Okay, I'm gonna pull it up on Google and we'll talk about it.
Okay. Okay.
Will says it's cool. Farts are so gross. Yes, Will. I know. I knew you as a Virgo rising would agree with me.
And Will is super white. I'm sure he's super white and waspy.
Yep.
If you're super white and waspy, you can't talk about that shit.
He's a waspy bitch. Yeah. I love Will.
You need some color and vibrancy and some life, yo. And then you can talk about those farts. I'm just kidding.
Not my kind of life. Oh, Courtney says, sorry, tarot and astrology. Yeah, makes sense. Okay. I'm going to pull up what twin flames are, and we can talk about that. Because what is a twin flame? No, here we go. Let's see. I think this is the article I looked at earlier. This is fun. It's so much fun having comments.
Oh my god, it's fun being on here. It's fun hanging out on here.
And
I feel like I need more light.
Yeah, dude. It's really good to have you here. It's really fun.
I know. So happy you're doing this.
Thank you.
Freaking awesome.
Thank you, dude.
Alex loves compliments.
Maybe you want to go on my other friend's podcast too or something. We'll just get our little community going. Don't you want to start something with Lisa too?
Yeah, Lisa and I are going to start. We're starting a podcast.
Heck yeah.
Aren't we, Lisa?
Heck yeah. Getting our little network going.
Yep.
Let's see. What is a twin flame? Let's see. A twin flame is an intense soul connection, sometimes called a mirror soul, thought to be a person's other half, which, you know, kind of, but you're always whole, right? It's based on the idea that sometimes one soul gets split into two bodies. One of the main characteristics of a twin flame relationship is that it will be both challenging and healing. This is due to the mirroring nature of a twin flame. They show you your deepest insecurities, fears, and shadows, but they also help you overcome them and vice versa. Your twin flame will be equally affected by you. Let's see.
I think that's true for us.
I think that's pretty true. Let's see. Here's the 11 signs. The 11. Take this quiz to find out if you're twin flames.
Don't take a quiz right now. Come on.
No, it's not a quiz. It's not a quiz. Okay. I'm not gonna take a quiz. No.
Let's see. When you quiz on the podcast.
That would be ridiculous. Don't make me do it. When you met, there was instant recognition. Sort of.
Well, you were breaking up with somebody at that moment, and
that's true.
I was like your guide, helper. So
yeah, there was.
But I always didn't like you.
You're very similar.
That's true.
You complement each other.
Definitely.
That's kind of true for me sometimes, but like not in a healthy way. I don't know what that means exactly. They feel magnetic. That's very true.
I think this is true.
You keep coming back together. Your connection feels divine. You have an almost psychic connection. That's true.
I mean,
They
we're
push you.
like beyond that.
Yeah. Yep. They push you to do and be better. Yeah.
Yes.
You're always done that.
Yeah.
Always driving each other. Yeah. Just like the card thing earlier. Yeah. Like I know what card you're going to draw. I'm like, damn it. And just the other day, like I was like out getting a beer, and I texted Chase about that. She's like, I was just imagining getting a beer with you. I was imagining you were at a bar or something.
No, you
stuff like that happens to us
you
all the
texted
time.
me and you said, I just sat and had a beer with you. I was sitting here and I was having it with you in spirit. And then I was literally like looking out the window, imagining having a beer with Alex. And then I get that text and I was like, whoa, I was just imagining having a beer with you because I've been really missing having a beer with you.
Best beer partner.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's what a twin flame is. Makes sense.
Okay.
Makes sense.
Well, there's like twin flame, and then there's like other things though. There's like twin flame, and then there's like, what's the other ones?
I don't know what the other ones are. I have no idea. But it just
There's
seems like with all like the sort of like growth stuff we've gone through, that makes the most sense. And the sort of mirror aspect. And I was just talking to you about like our composite chart and how like there's our moons are like the same distance away from the sun, but opposite ways. So our composite chart makes it a full moon right exactly in the middle. And I was talking about that, how like the moon represents the subconscious, and separately we each illuminate half of our subconscious, and then coming together we illuminate the other half from each other, which is why we epiphanies when we talk to each other, because we both come from this like different perspective and this different style that like, I don't know, completely illuminates something that's like we already know, but we can't quite figure out or put words to or don't quite realize because it's in the dark part of our subconscious, right?
Yes.
We illuminate the other half of that.
Yeah, and it was like incredibly healing and amazing to get seen in that way. But then we realized when we were together all the time that it was like bringing out all this wounding that we hadn't quite dealt with yet. And that we needed to deal with our shit before we could really completely be not codependent.
Yeah.
Basically.
Yeah, exactly.
Basically not fucking keep playing out the bullshit of the feminine and the masculine for eons. So
I had this thought about the like codependency thing. It's like that happens when like you've made something, you become dependent on something when you've made that thing your source, right? When you've sort of misidentified with this other thing or this other person as source energy, right? Instead of it coming from you.
Yes.
Right? Yeah. And your connection to source is not dependent on another. It's dependent entirely on you. And whenever we misidentify, which happens so much in like really deeply loving relationships, right? They can go sour because of codependency, because the source energy like I feel from you is so strong, right? Like I feel source through you really strongly for whatever reason. You just like remind me of that like spiritual home or whatever, and give me so much life and energy. But if I then like mistake that, then you're now like some sort of like weird slave and I'm like an energy vampire, right? And it's just not good.
Yeah. And I think that like, I mean, when you were talking, I was thinking about how like, I don't know, I feel like 2020, like because I feel like codependency, when you're codependent, you're not in your worth, you're not in your power. And I think like up until 2020, like I had done so much work, I developed all these programs, I had worked with all these people, but I still had this part of me that like, because as a healer, people become dependent on you, right? So you become their source. And then, but that like translated into a lot of my closest relationships / friendships. And then I started realizing how I was the source for a lot of things in my life. And there is a deep imbalance with that. I think that's really what, when I'm talking about codependency, I think it's such an overused term nowadays that people don't even like understand what it really fucking means. And to me, it just means like this deep imbalance between the masculine and the feminine in yourself and within another person.
Right.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like I've been correcting that energy, like really the word keeps coming to me, regulating. I've been regulating that energy so that I can be in my full wholeness. Because the codependency, it's like you need something else in order to feel whole. You need something else outside of you in order to feel whole. Like you need that person to need you because it makes you feel valid, but then you become a slave. It's this weird thing. It's this weird thing. And we all have it in some way, right? We all want people to need us in some way. And it's like, until we can get really clear about that and the deeper energies underneath that, it's like our relationships will always kind of be tainted in some way. This is what I've been going through, at least this last year.
Yeah. So yeah, absolutely. That was an interesting point about how like as a teacher and as a guide, you become source for other people too. So it's really important if you're doing this work to like have a really strong sense of boundaries. It's why like therapists have such a clear code of conduct and stuff, because
yeah. And that's what I think. I think that's, as we've been talking about like this new era that we're entering, like where people are, because therapy, I think is kind of most therapy I kind of think is bullshit, because it's all logical, it's all in the brain, and it doesn't really integrate the soul or the spirit. And so these new therapies that are coming about, like people have to create their own code of conduct and all that shit with it, But my whole thing is like, I like to be on the same level as my clients. I don't want to be on a pedestal. I want to be on the journey with you,
Right. It's just like such a delicate balance, but I think you're definitely figuring it out. Yeah, it's so like if you're pedestalizing anyone, that's just that creates a block in and of itself. It's a distortion in and of itself, because the point of it is recognizing the equality of all, that we are all one, that we are all from the same source, and we all have this same divine energy. And recognizing that connection. Anytime you're pedestalizing someone or thinking like, oh, they're so great or whatever, you're coming from a distorted, small ego self perspective,
But that's what our whole entire culture has been made up of. It's all based in hierarchy. The old culture, all based in hierarchy, clawing your way to the top, like, wanting to be like somebody, right? And now that we're in this new time, it's like all decentralized. So how does it work? How does that work? What are the new,
I read an interesting what's the new thing? Yeah, I'll get into that. That's what I titled this, right? The new wave or whatever. You're all about the future right now. I just want to say really quick, I read something about like the origin of that behavior, where it's like these like manipulations and these trying to gain power or control over people, or all of these dark things that we do as humans, are another way of us trying to get that source energy. So it's like you can get source energy through positive and negative interactions. You can steal it and manipulate it out of people, or you can have it freely given to you through love. But either way, you need it, right? And so when people are in that inverted, in that flipped state, and they can't express love and receive, then they start doing these forceful, manipulative tactics. And that's the state we're in right now in a lot of ways, right? And the way the state is operated. And I think
it's been like that for like 6,000 years. I mean,
maybe it might be just something that's been for all of time, at least in this time zone. You don't think so?
No, I don't. I think there's this.
So you don't.
Yeah, go ahead.
You don't think the shadow is an inherent part of existence?
No, I do. But I read this incredible book called The Chalice and the Blade, because I was a history major in college, and then I read this book, which obviously it's his story, But I read this incredible book called The Chalice and the Blade. It was the only book I had ever read that talked about matrilineal, a matrilineal era. The book is called The Chalice and the Blade. The chalice is the cup from whence all can drink. It's circular, it's non-hierarchical, it's non-combative. And the sword, the blade is the sword, right? And it's when the transition we made from worshiping a culture that worshipped life to a culture that worshiped death. And that was about 6,000 years ago. That was about 6,000 years ago from that book, is what she says.
Interesting. Which would be Egypt?
It was either 6,000 or 7,000 years ago. She talked about these cultures that existed. There were these matrilineal cultures where the culture was based in the feminine. So, and there was one massive one was on Crete. It was on Crete where, and these cultures were not combative. They were not warlike. They were not, they were not. And they had literally had a chalice, and it was all about the water. It's like, this is where all this stuff comes from: the cups, the water, the feminine, right? Yeah.
Right.
It was incredibly illuminating. I highly recommend that book.
What was the book called? What was it?
It's called The Chalice and the Blade.
The Chalice and the Blade. Interesting. The Blade and the Chalice. Classic.
Yeah. And the blade, like the giant wiener, right? It's like,
yeah, dude. The phallus. I'm gonna fuck the world. Yeah, that's what it does. We need it, but my God, has it been overused. So hopefully we're learning to chill out just a little bit with that dick energy. Hopefully we're learning to chill out.
Well, that's what I keep thinking about, is like, do you think that masculinity is in crisis? Do you?
Oh, sure. Yeah, absolutely.
Well, and how so? What does that mean?
What does masculinity being in crisis means? Well, it means that these things that have propped up the ego and its faith in its own structures and stuff are crumbling, right? And so there's this sort of scramble I see, especially in older men, to be like, this is just some crazy shit that you kids are cooking up. You know, like, what are you kids doing with your Bitcoin and your, you know what I mean? All their structures that they thought were reality, that they're like, no, this is the way it really is. They're crumbling, and the non-reality of them is becoming apparent. And they just think we're fucking up or something. I think that's the crisis that's coming, is like all the faith they had in these structures that they invented themselves is going to come tumbling down, and they're going to have to come to a serious connection with true reality as that continues to happen, right? And as things stop making sense, like Bitcoin doesn't make any sense, the GameStop thing didn't make any sense. You know, that was the best one for my dad. That just destroyed his reality.
But like, okay, so like what you're talking about is this like decentralization, right? That's what I keep saying. Decentralization, which basically means moving from this state of dominance to a state of no longer dominance. And I think that's one of the things, is that like men are like, well, because they also have been enculturated not to feel or express their emotions, right? And so there's this whole thing with like, if I'm not in a state of dominance, because I've been trained to be, not for any reason other than you've been trained to be, and I haven't felt my emotions, but my world is no longer like it's like this freezing period. I just feel like there's this massive confusion. I'm just so glad that you're creating this platform, and that men are starting to rise up in the spiritual realm and lead other men and help each other.
Thanks, dude. Yeah, there's a lot of cool dudes I've been meeting lately. Will and David, and like girls too, you know. There's this amazing, like, it's like this perfect balanced blend of people right now. It seems like, you know, we have almost, I think, as many women in Will's group as men. And
I love that.
Yeah, it's great, man. It's great. The generation is coming together. It's coalescing. We all have that new kind kind of Pluto in Scorpio kind of
Saturn and
energy.
Aquarius, motherfucker. It's all the Saturn
That too.
Aquarius people.
That too.
That's what I feel.
Absolutely. It is. That makes sense. That does make a lot of sense. Will says, "Fuck you. What is the worst fart you have ever smelled? Fuck you, Will. I don't want to hear about it. I thought you were on my side. God damn it, man. You betrayed me. You Judas to me. How could you?" Me and Will were talking about the Gospel of Judas when he was on my podcast. You ever heard of the Gospel of Judas?
Mm-mm.
It's like this Gnostic gospel from the 3rd century, maybe, or something like that. This lost Gnostic gospel, and it's all about the idea of like Judas was like the only true disciple, and Jesus like took him aside and was like, "Hey, I'm gonna need you to do some shit that's gonna make you look like an asshole. But I know that since you're my true servant and follower, that you will actually be able to do it and go through with it," right? Which I think is a fascinating and interesting thing. Like the betrayer is actually the hero of the story, and it's sort of like that right now, right? Like when you're in a system that needs to change, it's the betrayers who are the heroes and who look like the assholes, but are really, doing the divine's will, I guess, or however you want to say that. That was interesting.
That's deep, Alex. That's deep.
Deep thoughts.
That's deep. Well, it's true though. I mean, yeah, we're in such a weird place right now in humanity. Like there's just my mom was calling me I told you this. My mom was calling me I don't want to get a vaccine. My mom was calling me a Trumper, and like she hates me now. And I'm just like, oh my God, like, yeah, this polarization, everybody's just like, rah, 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 rah.
Yeah.
So you just gotta be you. Just gotta be you.
I think we're both dealing with this, where the more we are ourselves, the more it looks like to the people who we were their source, or we made ourselves small for them, the more we start looking like a betrayer to them, and so I think the Gospel of Judas is a great thing to speak to that. Courtney says, "Me and my twin flame are exactly 6 months apart. I love that this reflects in our charts." That's interesting. That's interesting. That's kind of sweet. So that would make her the sun right on the descendant, right on that the 7th house descendant cusp thing, which is the house of relationship. That's interesting. We have some interesting shit with our birthdays. They both add up the same, which is why we're both going through our death year. We have like exactly the same numerology.
Exactly the same numerology. Yeah, go ahead.
Oh yeah, that's what I was gonna say.
We have the exact same numerology. We have the exact same fucking shaman power animal that our shaman friends, when we did a journeying with them, told us we had this, which we didn't know until we both were like, "What? That happened to you?" Yeah.
So much stuff. Will says, "To be honest, I identify with Judas in that story more than I do with Jesus in the traditional story." Yeah. I need to actually read that gospel and read the whole story. But yeah, I mean, Jesus in a lot of ways, as he's written in the Bible, is not the most relatable character of all time. Sometimes he is. But other times, he's this fucking all-powerful God being who has no real shadow aspect to him, right? Because that's sort of archetypally what he's representing, is this
Jesus?
Yeah. He doesn't really have any shadow stuff in the Bible.
That's not what Eric Butterworth says. That's not what Eric Butterworth says.
Oh, yeah? Lay it down. Lay it on me. Tell me what's up.
Well, I mean, I don't know anything about the Bible, but I just know it through Eric Butterworth, and he talks about how Jesus had a whole period where he was like angry as fuck, and he was like talking shit about mass people that he was angry about, these people and the injustices before. This is like the worst telling of Jesus's history, but before things happened that made him into an ascended being of absolute light and love, no matter what, before he was hung on the cross and loved the people no matter what, he had a fucking real angry period. He had a real angry period where he was like, fuck these motherfuckers. This is injustice. This is bullshit. He was rebellious. And angry, and he saw the light, but he also was like, this is bullshit. That's what at least Eric Butterworth talked about.
That's cool. I didn't realize that part was in the Bible. Maybe it is. I need to go back and check it out. But that's sort of the period that we're going through right now, right? Or have been going through maybe my whole life, of just this like, fuck you, fuck these injustices. And then that's why the divisions have become so incredibly hard, because of the approach to trying to create change has been this sort of warlike pathway that's really just deepened the divisions even further.
Well, that's always what you're kind of dealing with. I guess this is what I was kind of trying to talk about with the masculine, is like trying to get out of the hole of whatever we're in through this like chastising the self, right? Like it's never good enough. I'm never good enough. We have to figure out how to be better. Like activism is like, you're fixing the world through so much anger, you know, like, it's that same kind of militant energy just put into different things for peace. It's like being militant for peace, you know?
Yeah, and it doesn't work. It doesn't make any sense. You always get what you give, right? So if you give that militant shit, it's not gonna be for peace. It's gonna be for more militant shit. That's the way it works. Like, it's universal law. It's an immutable, undivestible principle, right? You get what you give, no matter what. So it's just like this thing that has to peter out. Like, you have to like take your hands off the wheel and let the momentum of it just spin itself out, I think, is the only way. You know?
What's that like been looking like for you?
Just making peace with things and constantly working to try and come from a place of love. And anytime anyone's just being a dick, just kind of be like, oh, look at you. You know, is sort of the best way I could describe it.
So are you not getting angry? You don't get angry anymore?
Oh, fuck, I do. Yeah, I get angry, but in getting better at recognizing it quickly and just channeling it out in some way. For the most part, yeah, it's much better. I spend less time being angry about coronavirus. Because that whole thing was a tough one for me, because I saw where it was going. Like, the moment people started talking about it back in like early 2020, before any of the lockdown even happened, I immediately knew like, oh, this is going to be used to control people and try to force their way across boundaries, right? It's going to be used as a manipulative mechanism to try and manipulate your way into boundaries.
The thing that I wonder, though, when you're talking about this, is that I guess this might be the distinction, is that I think that the people who are running things are so in their own fear bubble that they are not actively being like, I'm gonna make this a way to control the problem. They're like, you know, we gotta get vaccinated so everybody can be okay, so that, you know, whatever, right? And I think, go ahead.
No, that's what I tend to believe too. That's all I want to say. That's what I believe. I think they're taken over by that fear energy, right? And so I think in general, they don't really see what's going on, because I think if you had that level of clarity of sight, you probably be doing that. I could be wrong about that, but so that's sort of where I diverge from like the typical conspiracy theory perspective, is like, I don't think humans are really that capable. I don't know if they're capable of that level of awareness and simultaneously being in so much fear, you know.
I don't think I mean, like, reality is simultaneous. I mean, life is paradoxical. True. That is the only true reality. But I think that it's more about constriction versus opening. And I think fear constricts.
Right.
So,
So I think that's all I'm talking about. It's not like I was like, oh, they're gonna like, they're coming in their pants over this or whatever. I think they're just like, part of the whole same fear constriction energy, and like, oh man, we're gonna have to do this to you know, make us all safe or whatever. But I just say, like, I saw that, like, oh, this is gonna constrict people in a lot of ways, right? And this is a narrative that's crafted in such a way that it makes it dangerous for you to not do something rather than dangerous for you to do something, if that makes sense. You know what I mean? So it's like it can be used for coercion into action
I get it.
rather than a boundary against action, right? Which that's all well and good. Like, yo, bro, don't tase me, bro, and don't don't cross my boundaries, right? That's all well and good. There's boundaries, don't cross them. But anytime you write a narrative where, okay, now you have to let your boundaries be crossed in order for it to be safe for all of us and for all of us to get along, is like, that's not good.
Yeah.
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 You know.
I don't know. I'm not thinking about it. I'm not thinking about it like that. I'm just really trying to go with what I feel. And I've been, I'm just really trying to go with what I feel. So I'm just going with what I feel, and it's not pleasing very many people. That's all I know. So
yeah. That's the real thing, right? We're trying to not be thought addicts, not think about it, go with our gut. Go with our gut. And then we don't need to spend forever justifying our feelings.
No. And I want to talk about something with you.
Okay. Yeah, let's do it.
I want to switch it up. I want to switch it up because I want to I want to ask you what you think magic is, because I feel like you've been experiencing a lot of magic lately. Or at least you seem kind of magical to me lately. And I want to ask you. Yeah. And I want to ask you what magic means to you. What is magic? And I don't know. Because I think we all have different definitions of it. And I think the old school definition of it is kind of cheesy. So I'd love to know what your definition of it is. We can talk about that.
My definition of magic is the power of the unseen, the power of your feelings, and the power of your ability to tap into that and channel that through and affect the environment and the world around you purely through the energy that you are projecting and allowing through. That's what I think it is. And that whole thing started for me with music, where I recognized the power of my feelings and the feeling that I played with. Like, there's always this thing, like you say, like, oh man, that guy has a really good feel. That's what they're saying. Like, that guy's a fucking magician. He has this power of spirit within him that he just projects and lets through so powerfully, Yeah. That's big magic. There's also little magic, like what you're doing there with the Palo Santo. Palo Santo, when you breathe that in and you smell that and you get that smoke around you, just creates a certain feeling within you, right? It changes things, and that to me is like a little bit of magic. Whenever you do something like that, anything that changes how you feel is magic, because that transforms your world. It transforms the actions you take. It transforms the way people perceive you around you. It transforms the things you're able to receive. And you notice that so much, like when you're on psychedelics and you smell Palo Santo. It's like, holy fuck, like it's such a visceral experience to smell that Palo Santo, and it's like almost like, for me, like created like a warming sensation through my whole body, right? And that's like a magical thing. And you can use that for dark or light purposes. It's a neutral thing. Like a car salesman might be an example of a black magician, a really low level black magician. Anyone who can manipulate
what he's selling. Not if he really believes in what he's selling.
No, then he's just a shitty magician. But there are people who are really, really good salesmen, right? Who just have intention of personal gain underneath it, right? They believe if they can believe their own story. What it takes to be a black magician is the ability to fool yourself. To be a good liar or a good manipulator, you have to be able to manipulate yourself into truly believing it in the moment, right? Right. But like a white magician, maybe someone just operating from a purely clear, intentional space, where you're just, your work is purely just to allow love through and to inspire that God spell into as many people around you as possible.
Right. Right.
I don't know. How's that?
Yeah. I think that's good. I think that's a good definition. Yeah.
What's your definition of magic?
Um, I think it's similar. I think my definition is adhering, tethering, grounding your energy to yourself, your soul, to the realm of energy.
Mm-hmm.
And this is really what I think 2020 has kind of done for me, is like it's shifted my, I think that's probably the biggest thing. Because I think I was always in that before, but like the world was grinding so hard that I didn't have time to really go in and like see the truth, that like,
Right.
and really sit with it, that like the world is made up of energy, and
Mm-hmm.
the energy is based on how I view it, see it, shape it. That's just the truth.
Right.
And that's quantum mechanics, that's quantum physics, that's
Mm-hmm.
interdimensional reality. That is the truth. And it's
Mm-hmm.
beyond Newtonian, it's beyond linear. We're moving beyond that paradigm into a new paradigm. And so when I tether myself to the energy, and I see the truth of the energy, then things start showing up. The materiality shapes itself to that, and that
Yeah.
to me is magic. It's like
That's beautiful. Mm-hmm.
it's like a shaping of materiality through energetic concentration and focus.
Right.
That's what the whole Psi thing is to me. That's basically why I changed the whole concept of what I do to Psi visioning. That's basically what Psi
Yeah.
visioning is. Yeah. Yeah.
I was just gonna, yeah, shift gears and get into that. Like you rebranded yourself as a
Mm-hmm.
Psi-Visionist lately, and like what inspired that? What does that mean to you? I guess you're just starting to get into that right here. You
Yeah, I
know,
think that
is what
that's
Psi is to you.
yeah, I just started, well, I started, Eric Butterworth has been like part of my 2020, post 2020. I call pre 2020, post 2020. That's what I call reality.
Mm-hmm.
Post 20, like Eric Butterworth was, I just kept hearing the word Psi. I kept hearing the word Psi. People would talk about the Psi factor. I would see it on signs. Literally, there's a like I take walks and there's a construction company that says PSI, Psi. And I just started tuning into it. And I was like, Psi feels like the new, it feels like the new frequency of the future. It feels like we're starting to tune into a new kind of currency, a new kind of energy, a new current, right? And it's like starting to
Mm-hmm.
formulate our reality around energy versus materiality, starting to concentrate ourselves in material, in energy first, and then allowing the materiality to come from that. And I think if humanity can really start to shift that and get into that, we can really reshape this entire planet. We can reshape everything, every issue that's going on.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that, all of humanity is capable of that at this moment, but I do believe that the empaths of the world have this potential, and that if we all kind of get together and start really focusing and tuning into our energetic
Mm-hmm.
power and our power to acknowledge energy, that we can shift the energy of the planet. That's what I feel.
Yeah, yeah, dude. There's this like Buddhist thing I read once where it was like it only takes 1% of a population to shift in consciousness to shift the vibration of an entire city or an entire region.
Ooh.
They literally had a mathematical formula for like the
What?
size. Yeah, they had a mathematical form, a super precise formula for how many people it would take, given a population and the size of area, for it to shift the vibration of a place. I don't remember what that specific formula is. I'm sure you could find it,
We
but
need
it's
to
not
find
that
that shit.
much.
We need to find
I'll
that shit.
find it. I'll find it and send it to you. Yes. Yeah, dude. We'll do the math. We'll do the math. I'll do my
I would
Capricorn
love
shit. I'll
that.
math it out and I'll
I
send you
would
my
love
report.
that.
And we'll start recruiting for the energy armada.
Yeah, dude.
So,
Well, it's already
the
happening.
love armada. It's already happening. That's why I don't get into the math too much, because it's like it's just gonna fucking happen, man. The scales are tipping. We're already drawing it in, right? As we shift ourselves, we draw all these people to us or draw ourselves towards certain people, and it just seems to be fractaling outwards.
Well, when this first dropped, I remember last March when this first happened, I foresaw everything that was going to happen to you. I was like, oh, this is going to become a fucking thing. Right. And I had this deep feeling. It's really weird because I got really excited and I was like, oh, this is why I came to this planet. I was like, this is why I came to this planet for this time. Because I've asked myself so much of my life, why the fuck am I on this planet? Like, there's this fucking planet, it's so asleep. Why the fuck am I here? And then when this coronavirus happened, I was like, oh, I came for this time. I came for this time. This is a sacred time. This is a holy time. This is a transitionary time. We are going through a spiritual awakening right now. And I'm supposed to be here. I'm supposed to be here from whatever fucking way to do my whatever small part, just as you are, to just lead this new energy and to just really believe that we have the power to lead it and to change it and to move into a more empathic world with not in a cheesy way, but where we really start playing with energy, where we really start working with energy versus materiality.
Yes, man. Yes. And everyone I meet, hell yeah, dog. Everyone I'm meeting right now is totally on that path and on that wavelength and dialing into that, and they all understand that energy is the most important thing. And this is why it's fucking stupid for me to waste any energy complaining about coronavirus or whatever, because whatever the circumstances are, this has been a beautiful fucking gift, a beautiful fucking opportunity, and so much transformation has happened because of it.
So quickly. Like, I think it would have taken a long time to actualize in the way that I've actualized this year. I think it would have taken like at least 5 to 10 more years. I don't know. I mean, whatever, linear time, but you know what I mean? Like,
who knows even? I know what you mean. What is time? But yeah, like it would have taken longer. It wouldn't at least have happened in this way. This is, I guess, the way that it needed to happen. We need these Uranian crisis moments to push us and to jackhammer out these crystallized structures, both without and within us. We need these jackhammer moments. Sometimes you gotta bring in that dynamite.
Yes.
Sometimes
it's so funny. It's so funny because I've been like I've always been into Uranus, right? I've always been into Uranus, but like, I don't know, post 2020, I'm like, oh, like, I don't know. I'm like giving myself to all this freedom and room to just be weird as fuck and to just like be really bold and weird. And like the old me that was more like, my mom is like a beauty queen. My mom was like always had her, she always looked really great. She always like presented herself very nicely, and I think, I adopted that, even though obviously I'm half Italian and weird, but like now in this era, I don't really care anymore. I'm like, kind of like it's exciting to be weird. It's like I feel this new energy where people are like, what's that? Everything has been imploded, exploded. And we can just kind of, it's like anything is game, and you can be weird, you can be fucking weird. You can present yourself as something new. And because everything is innovating right now, everything is innovating.
Yes. It's so good. It's so good. I've been waiting for this time all my life. I'm such a fucking weirdo, and was always like, I don't want anything to do with any of the things I see around me. This all looks like it sucks. How can I make something different, do something different? And lo and behold, here is this time where you can do something different and be something different, and all these communities can come together around you, and this new energy you're creating, and you just become a magnet, and all you got to do is dial into your shit and what you truly love and what truly feels amazing to you. And the more you dial up that feeling, the more you magnetize, and it's fucking great. It's so fucking great.
Yeah,
so pleased.
Sometimes I like will have these moments where I'm like, I mean, I'm just being completely honest, because I've been really I've been really like in the flow lately. Like I just like I feel so in the flow, And then I'm like, I'll ask myself, I'm like, is this like, am I completely selfish? Am I completely selfish? Like, is it all just about my pleasure? But then I kind of go back and I'm like, but wait, my I know that my core vibration and reason for being on this planet is to help evolve the consciousness. And so if I myself am really post 2020 for me is about pleasure. That's what I've decided. I've decided post 2020 is about pleasure. And I think pre 2020, it was about pain. I was all about the shadow and like talking about my issues for hours and like just focusing and crying and like, life is hard, right? And now I'm like, fucking like, that is beautiful. I'm gonna enjoy that. No, I don't want to talk to you right now. Like, yes, I want to fucking eat this fucking burrito slowly. Like, I feel tired from this technology. I'm gonna chill the fuck out. Like, just really prioritizing my energy. That's the message that I keep getting is prioritize my energy.
Yeah, pre 2020 was emo as fuck.
I used to make fun of you for that. I used to make fun of you hard for that. Do you think I was just as emo?
I know. No.
Was I?
No, you were like, I don't know. You were more like, you weren't emo. You were more like the Pixies or something like that. You were like
punk rock. I was angry.
You're punk rock. Yeah. And I was just like, I was like the sad and like, oh, I just want to feel my emotions and be sad. Oh, it hurts. That was me. Yeah. Age of Pisces, dude. Age of Pisces into the age of Aquarius. Pisces is emo. Aquarius is chill. Having a good time.
Aquarius is like fucking heady and fun and interesting and detached. That's our composite.
Yeah, well,
moon. Our composite moon is Aquarius.
Yes, it's awesome. And like it's the water bear, right? Aquarius is all its shit together, where Pisces' water is everywhere. It's the fucking ocean. Aquarius has got all its shit and put it together in the basket. All its shit's together.
Yeah, that's why Aquarius is cool, because it's the it's carrying water, putting water into the stream that's coming from the cosmos, this cosmic energy, and putting it down into the earthly stream. But it's handling water. That's its glyph, but it's all air. It's an air sign. It's like, I would say the most of the air signs, because it's like
probably
it literally is, the glyph is air, and it's current.
Well, it's fixed air.
It's current. If you look at the glyph, it's current.
It's electric current, yeah.
And that's what I keep thinking.
Water current. Yeah, I mean, it's the inventor. It's ingenuity. It is the sign of Uranus. It's the last air sign in the zodiac.
I'm so into this energy, because you know why? Because it's the most free. It is the most free. I would say, besides Aries, but Aries is kind of like the warrior, like punk rock. Aquarius is detached. Yeah. Just like, I'm fucking weird and I'm free and I'm over here and I don't give a fuck what I look like and I'm making money and fuck you and I'm going to space. Peace out.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, Aquarius is just like, if anyone like comes up on Aquarius and is like, what the fuck are you doing? And Aquarius is just like, oh, I don't know. Just, Aquarius is completely fine being a weirdo. Aquarius is the one who will like make the weirdest joke in the room and then not give a shit when it doesn't land. Like,
Yeah, and really be in its own world, which is what I really appreciate. It's in its own world. I think it's really liberating as an empath. Because I think that right?
Yes.
Right?
Yes. It's the liberating energy that an empath needs is Aquarius.
Because I think that we are so soaked in the emotions of others that when we can have the permission and the liberation to just detach from them and do our own thing, like it feels so good. It feels so good.
It's incredibly relieving. It's incredibly relieving. Because yeah, being an empath is exhausting. You made a whole video about empath exhaustion, didn't you?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah.
It's true. That's what I was feeling towards the end of the 2020 year.
And what I noticed for me is like so many of like whatever patterns of behavior I enter into that can be toxic or whatever are like not me. It's just this toxic idea that entered me from someone else that I took on because I'm so open-hearted and so willing to believe whatever anyone says to me, because you know I want to respect them and love them as an empath. So I'm like, okay, yeah, I'll take on your stuff. I see where you're coming from. And then that pattern sticks in me and plays out in these toxic, painful patterns that just really have nothing to do with me and aren't me.
God, it's so true. It's like you really just take in. You used to. You don't anymore. I hope you really used to like.
I still can, but
everything and everyone. No, you were zero judgment of anything. Yeah. Actually, that's not true, because you would judge certain people. You judge
and people like just people could tell me. I would be judgy. I mean, so where that comes from, I think initially is I was initially maybe the most judgy, and I saw how much that hurt people, and I didn't want to hurt people because I could feel their pain. So I learned how to completely shut down my sense of discernment, because I was like, you know, maybe I just don't understand. Maybe I just don't understand, and so I came to this place where I gave away my power.
But your power in the beginning was you were a little bitch and you were a little dick.
Yeah.
You were judging.
I was a little dick. I was a total precocious dick. I was a precocious, judgy dick of a child. 100%. And now it's coming into balance. Now that's coming back, but it's balanced out by this sense of empathy.
Great spirit, that's all I want. That's all I want. That's all I want.
I was in this place where like, and I still have this ability where you can tell me whatever you want, and I'll just be like, "Oh, really? What? Tell me, you know."
I know. I was thinking the other day, I was like, am I ever going to look at Alex and not like, you still have this thing about you that is like, I wonder if it's going to change when you get old. But like, when you still have this thing about you that's like so sweet, like, I'll believe what you say. Oh, yes, love. Right. And like, I'm like, yeah, it's like the naivete, but I don't think that you have that as much anymore. You're getting a little bit more hardened.
No. It's balancing out for sure. I think that will always be a part of me to a degree, but I think I'm going to start learning how and when to like set those boundaries, or how and when to access my masculine power and shut something down, you know, when it needs it. Because I think that's the true masculine power, is like this ability to say no, you know, and shepherd. It's like the good shepherd, right? You know, a shepherd sets boundaries and says no and guides the flow.
Yes. Right. I'm learning it too. But I'm really learning it now.
What happened was like I was so attuned and so aware of the shadow side of the masculine that I became loath to access my masculine power ever, because I thought it was just toxic bullshit.
Well, I think that's kind of what I'm talking about here. It's like the masculine energy that was presented to men is toxic in our world. So like you have to self-regulate, which means you have to know yourself, but then you were never taught how to you were also taught not to express or feel your emotions and to repress them. So you're just like, you're in this tiny box trying to be like, oh, I know myself. And I just, you know, you're figuring it out. So like, you don't have any normal, healthy space from whence, you know, women, at least we are taught less to have less worth. Men are taught to have more worth. Women are taught to have less worth, but we are we are allowed to have our emotions. And that's what we've been talking about this whole time, is how emotions and energy are the links of the new world, right? That is what is creating the new world, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely. So the more like I can access and trust my emotions and my sense of like gut discernment, those feelings that in my gut that I get, the more then I'll be comfortable expressing that masculine power when it needs to be expressed, because I'll trust my gut and it will happen in the moment, and it won't be this thing that I have to sit and like figure out and like, you know.
That's what's been happening for me. I don't know if this is what's been happening for you, but like, I don't know, especially like the 2021, I've been getting deep gut feelings about things that has forced me to take massive risks. And I've just been listening,
Mm-hmm.
like bigger, because I think I've been building on my level of trust and faith in my gut and my intuition, which is your psychic ability. And the more intuition I get, and the higher, it's like the universe is like, if you want to grow, if you want to actually ascend, you have to actually do what I'm telling you. So I've been trusting the intuition I get, and I've been taking these huge risks, and they've been completely paying
Mm-hmm.
off. And so my psychic abilities are growing. I'm not sure how this was relating to what we were talking about, but
I don't know either, but it was good. I don't care.
yeah, I don't know
No,
why.
it was relating to trusting your gut.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And how important that is, though. How important that
Yeah.
is.
And how that starts to expand. The more you trust it, the more you receive. The more you trust what you're receiving, the more is given to you, and the more you receive.
That's it.
Yeah,
That's it,
we
twin
got it.
flame. That's it,
That's
twin
yeah,
flame.
right. Twin flame moment. I got you, dog. Hey, I got my candle burning back there too. What's that? You all right?
Oh, I thought that was Nico. I thought that was my dog.
Cool. Okay, Will says, Chase, join the group. The guy coming on tomorrow will straight up tell you that he's an alien and that he's not supposed to be here right now. Ah, interesting. I think he's relating back to that, your feeling of like, not like, why am I here? I don't know who he's having on tomorrow. Tomorrow's his birthday show. I know we got the witch boss thing going on, but I think it might end up being before that, because that we're doing that at 8, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, so maybe we'll be able to check out Will's show. I don't know if you want to. I'm definitely going to try to.
Okay.
Um cool, dude. Is there anything else you want to talk about? I wrote down Elon Musk. we already sort of we sort of talked about that new wave kind of energy, right? He's part of that Aquarian new wave kind of stuff.
Well, yeah. The new wave. I don't know. I just started getting intuitive hits that Elon Musk is the leader of the new energetic. It's just we're in a new frequency, right? We've hit a new
Mhm.
energy. We're entering a new era of a new frequency, and I feel like Elon Musk is like on already way in tune with that energy. So he's already been in that energy, and now the world's like starting to shift, and he's got momentum. And so I feel like he's pioneering. He's kind of leading us in this new world, And so I just kind of
Right.
listen. I mean, I put $100 in. I owe. I not owe. I own 1,072 Dogecoin.
Fuck yeah.
I was
Dogecoin.
like, I just had the feeling I needed to invest in Dogecoin. If fucking Dogecoin goes up to like $200 a Dogecoin, I am gonna be almost $500,000 richer.
Holy fuck. It could happen.
Dogecoin,
Oh my god, why is this happening?
I'm
Sorry, my
excited.
studio is still
I'm
falling apart.
excited.
Mm-hmm.
If Dogecoin goes up to
It did.
$1,000 for a Dogecoin, I'd be like $2 million rich.
Holy shit. I'm imagining it. I'm imagining it. It'll happen.
I don't know. I'm excited about it. It's
We're
exciting to
gonna
invest in
be
something that's point zero something. I haven't invested in anything like that yet.
right. I
Mhm.
have I have like I have this Tarek gave me this thing called Hogecoin. So it's like a new Dogecoin. Let me see. How much do I have? It's like this really small thing that's like illegal to buy in America, but he got it on like a VPN, and he found out about it from this fucking like 15-year-old kid. It's like the kids. It's what the kids do these days. They make meme currency,
They talk
and
about,
I have like $20 worth of it, which is like 100,000. Yeah, over 100,000 Hoj coin because it's worth like the smallest fractions of a penny. So if it becomes worth a penny, I'll be rich as fuck. Right. So the way that may happen, their plan, their investment strategy or whatever, their business strategy is to meme the fuck out of it until Elon Musk mentions it, and then it'll probably be worth a penny. Just got to get Elon Musk to say the word Hogecoin. Wow. Send him that message, Chase. You're tuned into him. Send him that psychic message. Hogecoin. Hogecoin.
Okay. Okay.
It's pretty funny. It's pretty wild, dude.
Do you want to talk about anything else? Is there anything you want to talk about? What's been going on with you? Have you been having any weird dreams or anything lately?
Oh, sure. Man, I don't remember. I haven't been writing them down, so I sort of forget.
I've been writing my dreams down less too. Yeah.
Yeah. What I did have one that was pretty vivid and intense because I keep having this thing happen to me where I wake up and I feel sort of restless and like I didn't rest very well, and it's like sort of early, and I've been like tossing and turning all night, and then I just kind of sit and like meditate in my bed for a second, and then I slip into like the deepest sleep ever for the next couple hours, and then I have really intense dreams in that state. And I know Will did a lucid dreaming episode that sort of talked about that. Like there's this lucid dreaming technique where you're supposed to like wake up and like fully wake up and do something for like 30 minutes and then go back to sleep. And since you've sort of entered this more alert state,
fuck that.
Yeah, right. Fuck that. I don't get up at anything or do anything like
There's
that.
There's no fucking way I'm going back to bed after I've gotten up. That's way too much work.
It does, right? I think the idea is just that you fall asleep in a more alert state, which is what like shamanic journeying is, right? Where you're trying to essentially enter that sort of space, that liminal space between wakefulness and asleepness, but in an alert space. So like dreams are coming to you because the journey is not supposed to be a daydream. It's supposed to be like how a dream feels like it's happening to you. It's not something you're making. It's things that are just happening to you. Yeah. That's what a shamanic journey is supposed to be like. You're supposed to be receiving these messages, not creating a world.
Right.
And that's what dreams kind of are.
You've had lucid dreams, right?
Kind of. I've never had the experience of being in control of my dreams exactly, to a bit of a degree, but I've always been like too in it to be fully in control. Even if I like know it's a dream, I'm still sort of like being Alex, and being like, oh my God, what's happened? Like freaking out. And that will sort of transform the dream. I'll get into a space where I notice that my feelings are sort of creating the dream space, but I won't be, I never quite get control of my feelings in the dream space, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
I can manifest.
I had like 2 times in my life that if like I think about lucid dreams, like it was at moments of like growth, like a maturity, I guess. I had one when I remember when I was 14. I remember I had a dream where I woke up and I had a situation that was like, and I was walking and talking to somebody, and then I was like, oh, I'm in a dream. And then I fell asleep, and then I woke up and I was having the same situation, and I was like, I'm in a dream. And I woke up again. I kept waking up in the same situation and realizing I was in the dream, and it freaked me out so much. And then finally, by the time it was like 6 times in, it was like 6 times over and over and over and over and over. Yeah. That happened.
That's crazy.
That happened when I was 14.
That's freaky.
I know. And then I remember having one in my freshman year of college when I was in the dorms. And I remember it very well. I was in this dark, like cavern place, and I was wearing this sparkly eyeliner, and I was in front of a mirror, and I peeled my eyes open and I looked at myself and I was like, I'm in a dream. I knew I was in a dream, and I was like, what can I do? And I was like, I can float. And so I did this floating thing, and I jumped back, and I started doing things because I knew I was in the dream, and then it ended.
Wow. That's cool.
But I have had like lucid situations like that where like I kind of know I'm dreaming, like you were kind of talking about, right?
Mm-hmm.
Where you kind of know you're
Right.
dreaming, but you're not
Yeah.
like, I am dreaming and I am going to control this dream.
Yes, exactly. That has never happened to me. I've never gotten there. I know that's happened to Will since he was a little kid. He's been lucid dreaming forever, and he just thought it was something everyone could do. And yeah, so I don't know what that's about and why it's so accessible for him.
I had a
But
client once that was like, that told me that he started lucid dreaming and he started realizing that he could leave his body. He could, no, I don't even think this is lucid dreaming actually. He would leave his body and
sounds like
then
astral traveling.
it was astral travel. And he would leave his body and he would go far out. And he said he went so far out, he realized he was on top of this lake in on this water, and his body was way far away, and he didn't know if he could get back to his body. And he freaked out.
Whoa.
And then he finally decided that was when he stopped astral traveling. It's
Well, I
interesting.
think you told me about that. Yeah. Whoa. That is really interesting.
I
I
feel
think
like
that's
they're
something that Will
connected.
does too.
I feel like they're connected.
I think they are. I think they are connected. Seems like they would have to be. I have had a lot of sleep paralysis experiences throughout my life, which someone told me is indicative, like usually goes along with lucid dreaming. But yeah, never had. That could be like an astral traveling sort of thing, because I do sort of have experiences like that where it seems like I've traveled somewhere, and then it takes me a bit to get back into my body. Like I wake up and I can't move. I'm like, I got struggle. It's like a sensation of like your leg is falling asleep, but it's your whole body. You know, it's really frustrating and can be it can be really
I've never
freaky.
had that. That sounds
You've never
fucking
had that?
horrible.
Yeah, it hasn't been the worst thing for me. A lot of people, like, when they talk about it, like, it's the worst thing ever. I can't stand it. It freaks me out so much that I can barely go to sleep because I'm so scared I'll go through sleep paralysis. And that for me, it's never been that scary, but the only part that makes it scary is when I was a kid, this would happen to me all the time, where I would wake up and I would be choking on my blanket and I'd be sleep paralyzed. And that's the worst because you can't breathe and you have a limited amount of time to activate your body so you can save yourself from choking to death. And that is the worst. That is terrifying. And I always get control of it like right before it seems I'm about to like pass out. So that's not good. Don't recommend that. It was because like I'd be so like scared of like going to sleep or like monsters or whatever. I'd cover a blanket over my head, right? So I'd sleep with a blanket over my head, and
Oh,
then
you were doing it to yourself.
I would get wrapped up. Yeah, I wouldn't like. No one would come and do it to me. Yeah, I'd have a blanket over my head because I'd be freaked out, and then I'd like in my
choke
sleep.
yourself to death with your own fear.
Yeah, exactly. It's a perfect metaphor,
It's like
right?
people that are as conscious as you, when you put your when you put your wherever you put your focus, you will create or destroy.
Mm-hmm. Right. Exactly. So it's powerful.
That's why fear is so powerful for people who are empathic and
Mm-hmm.
and psychic,
Mm-hmm.
into spiritual shit, because we really we're so tuned into emotion that
Mm-hmm.
we really can affect energy, and then we can really affect all of the energy around us, and we can negatively,
Yes.
if we're in fear, we can like fucking obliterate a village,
Yeah.
um yeah, that's
Yeah.
what it's like that's why that is honestly the reason why I spend so much time doing work, to keep myself in a space of faith and power and
Mm-hmm.
concentrated focus.
And love.
Yeah, and love. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
and love. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
because otherwise I'll just destroy myself and everything around me.
Right. I'm all about the unconditional love lately, just because of that. Like that's all the messages I keep getting. Is like I kept getting this thing like love yourself all over. Like I was like, how do I heal? And I was like, love yourself all over. And I was like, well, what? think I'm doing that. But then I was like, no, yourself is everything. Yourself is everything that you perceive. Everything that's in your mind and everything you see truly is you, right? Like, if you want to look at it in a scientific way, it's like everything you perceive is something created by your brain's interpretation of the information around you. This is also like a Buddhist idea of like, you know, everything you observe has to be a part of you, you know. It by the very act of observing it, it's become a part of you, and your memories and your thoughts and your perception, all of that is you. And so the love yourself all over thing is like love the entirety of your awareness, you know, love the very idea of awareness, and the magic of even just being able to see this thing outside of you, or being able to even think of this
Well,
thing.
that's what Eric Butterworth talks about. He talks about substance. It's substance.
Mm-hmm.
In the
It's
Bible, it's called,
substance.
yeah, in the Bible, it's called substance. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And that's basically what you're talking about. It's like seeing yourself in everything and realizing you are a part of it, and constantly taking that. It's like the Horus. That's the visual I've been getting lately. You talked about that guy Gamble, right?
Mm-hmm. Foster Gamble.
And it's about the Horus, the infinite energy.
You mean the Taurus
The
field?
Taurus. Sorry, not the Horus, the Taurus.
I have Horus is pretty cool too, but
Yeah,
yeah, the toroidal field.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of what I always am imagining. It's like I'm taking it in, and then I'm exhaling it out, and it's all one. We're all
Right.
one, and it's all the substance around me is in me, and it's
And you know what's interesting about that is a torus is like a donut, right? Meaning the center is empty. Meaning to do that, yourself has to be empty. You at the center of it all have to be empty, because anytime you're all that ego stuff is clogging up that flow, right? So in order for the flow to be a perpetual infinite motion machine, you have to make your center empty where you just receive, right?
so easy.
So easy. Yeah, dude, just be empty. Why not?
Actually, it is kind of easy. It actually
It
feels
is.
it feels the best.
Well, that's the wild thing about it, right? Is it simultaneously it's simultaneously so hard and the easiest thing in the world. It is ease in and of itself. It literally is the state of ease and well-being. You know? And it's an act of remembering to make it happen. It's like you just have to constantly remember that you're always, I mean, it helps me to have a narrative that I've created for myself to remember that love and safety, like the narrative of like the universe fucking loves you. I keep talking to you about this. Like there's everything outside of me is like a projection of this goddess that just fucking loves me and worships me as her king in a way, and just wants to see me shine, and anytime like I'm being worry or doubtful or angry or any of these things, you can't connect in that state, right? This thing can't love you, just like a person couldn't connect and love you when you're in that state, right? So like every time I remember that, and I remember, oh, I'm just supposed to shine, it's cool. I am the fucking Leo king of this reality. I am the king. Worship me and love me, but not in an egoic way. Just in a like, hey, here I am.
Speaking of,
So
yeah, go ahead.
I was just saying whenever I can remember that, then it becomes so much to let go and fall into that state of ease again. And then you're like, oh yeah, I remember. Okay, all is me and I am love and we're good.
Wow, so you're just like starting to get petted. You're starting, instead of needing to get petted by someone, you're just getting petted by the universe.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
Because you love to be petted. You love to be like,
yes. Yes. I love
and
it.
so you're just doing it with the universe now.
Yeah. Exactly. Exactly.
That's cool. That's cool. That's cool.
Source energy. True source.
Yeah. I like that. I like that. Yeah, I just watched this I found this thing on YouTube. I don't know, it just popped up. It was this woman, this German woman who met this Maasai man and just chose to move to this Maasai village in Kenya. And I mean, she really lives with nothing. And my God, was she gorgeous. I started crying because she started crying because she was like, this woman was interviewing her and she was like, why do you live here? And, most people would say you have nothing. And she's like, the truth is that these people have everything. This is one of the last tribes in the world that lives off of the land wildly and lives in complete communion with nature. She's like, I feel sorry for us. We are poor. They are rich. She's like, they are rich. They have
Truly.
Animals and food, and they understand how to live in complete harmony. She's like, we are poor. And this woman was, you would almost be like, what's wrong with this person? Why would they choose to do that? And the more you watched her, the more you absorbed her energy. She was this beautiful, loving, pure soul that just really wanted to be in a harmonious, present, still, void, empty state with the universe, just being completely empty and open. And that's what I was sensing from that at her. And that's exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah. I've been craving that so much, man. I've been thinking a lot about that lately, how like, yeah, truly the best state of being is that like harmony with nature. Because the more I think about the idea of like the universe loves you, I'm like, we've built all these distortions upon the natural flow of things that really, like, if we open to it, we could just harmonize with it so beautifully. And that's where we come from naturally. And it was like, there's, I'm sure there's danger and strife to that too, but it seems like so much a more satisfying way to live. And because we've grown up this way, we've lost those tools and the sensitivities needed to do that. And I think it's such a big part of our work to try and return to that, because this is an unsustainable and truly painful way to live, because it's a separated way to live. We've separated ourselves because we became afraid of the earth. We became afraid of it and the seeming chaos of it. When we lose connection with our intuition and our connection with the energy of the moment, the natural world looks like chaos.
Well, that's why my AC guy was from Nigeria, and he just had like the most amazing energy. And I was like, I just want to be around you, like just so pure and present and good. And that's why I went in the Peace Corps when I was 24, to just be in the wild, to just live with nature unobstructed, without technology, really. And it was so healing for my soul. So healing. I really identified with her when I watched that. I really identified. I was like, in some lifetimes I've done something like that. Like I've definitely.
Yeah, I imagine I have as well. I feel like my work in this lifetime though is to like be here and transform this place. Like it sounds great to just go out into nature and have a good time and learn how to harmonize.
She had like 1,000 flies on her and like.
Yeah, I mean not have a good time, but just like you know what I mean, start like harmonizing.
Yeah, I know what you mean. I know what you mean. It's its own challenges, but yes, I know what you mean.
It's its own challenges, but it's a much more, the challenges are natural and not made by man. It's just about learning to work with the mother.
Yeah.
And her temperamentalness, whatever may happen. But yeah, I just feel like it's part of it's just our work to like be here and transform and shape this thing and heal this place and break up these crystallized structures.
Yeah, man. I was just mixing up the cards because I feel like we're probably gonna end soon, and I wanted to pull a last card, and I was just mixing it while we were talking.
That's great. That's a great idea. I love it.
And
perfect.
I got Dominion.
Oh, hell yeah. That's awesome.
This has been it's the Two of Wands.
The Two of Wands.
Mars and Aries.
Hell yeah. Dude.
But it's all
Mars is not in Aries, but
no, mine's in Leo. But the Dominion has been a word that's come to me very much lately, and it's very connected to what we've been talking about, which is really about having dominion over what I what I choose to allow into my energy, what I choose to focus on, whether or not I'm going to feed into fear, whether or not I'm going to go down that pathway and create that in the world. Dominion to me is like really having dominion over my energy. Keep my focus on beauty, goodness, love, power, the things that I want to see in this world, not this spiral down of chaos and greed and destruction and disorder, but spiraling up into empathy, love, communion, unity, right? That's what dominion is.
That's perfect. What a wonderful card to draw after the worry card.
Yeah.
I love it. I think that's a perfect ending spot. Kali.
Yeah. Megan Thee Stallion. Yeah.
Fuck yeah. So, do you want to tell people where to find you or how to reach out to you?
Oh yeah, sure. Yeah. It's just my name, Chase, Chase, Butticé, Butticé.com. That's it. Butticé. That's my nickname. I'm Italian.
Yeah, and
I can't deny it.
Do you do astrology readings too right now, or are you just doing?
Yeah, I do astrology readings.
Yeah, okay.
Astrology readings.
Chase does astrology readings.
Soul mapping. I call it soul mapping.
That's really cool. I like that a lot. That's good. I should come up with a cool word.
Yeah.
I'm jealous now.
I know. You get jealous. I know.
I do. You know,
he's a little competitive and he's a little jealous, and that's
so
how
are you.
I only have true love for you, Alex. And yes.
Only pure light.
Only pure light.
I am pure.
It's okay. Our little bit of competition is good because it keeps us on our toes.
It's good.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, it's great. We keep pushing each other forward. It's really good.
Yeah.
You do astrology readings. You have courses, right?
I also do Psi-Visioning. I do Psi-Visioning, I call it, which is my particular type of craft that I do. And
what does that mean exactly? What do you do for people when you're Psi-Visioning?
I am able to
Is it like a reading? Is it like another kind of reading?
It's like a reading, but I'm able to see your highest self coming to fruition. It's kind of what I do. And I can
yeah, you've always done that.
Yeah, I can just help you see the obstacles. I can help you take the right path. I can help you enter the right timeline so that you can ultimately fulfill your potential on this planet. That's what I'm here to do. That's really what I'm here to do.
Beautiful.
Yeah. Hello.
I love it.
Hello. Okay. Yeah.
Okay. Hello. Oh, did I break up for a second?
Yeah, you froze.
Yeah, I just said you're fucking good at it.
Oh,
you're fucking good at it.
Thanks.
Yeah. It really is a gift, dude.
Aww.
All right, and you guys can always reach out for me or to me for readings.
Alex is fantastic.
Instagram.
Alex is fantastic at astrology as well. Fantastic.
Thanks, dude. I owe it to you. You were my teacher. You were my first teacher. And literally all the shit I draw from are your books that you told me to get into. And Forrest, who's another one of your gurus, is that's where I get most of my shit from.
I am older than you, so I have had some more time on the planet to collect
whatever.
Yeah.
I'm trying to pet you.
No, you are. You are. Thank you. Thank you. I'll take it. I'll take it. I'll take it. I'll take it. I love it.
Just accept my love. Okay. All right, everyone. Thanks so much for listening.
Thank you.
It was a joy to have you here today.
Thank you.
And we'll see you all soon.
Yay.
All right.